Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So everything that has ever taken place has been appointed, okay? Has been um already planned for a specific timing, okay? Like any well thought out story. Okay, we're going to skip down to verse 8, a time to love, okay? And we're referring to this world that we're living in. All right. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war. And that is the time that we're dwelling in right now, as you see around us. Okay. As if you have eyes to see, ears to hear, we're definitely in the time of the wars and rumors of wars spoken of from Yahweh Shai. Okay. Our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right. In Matthew's 24. All right, at the Mount of Olives. Okay, a time of peace, and this time of peace will be when this eon, when this time that we're living in is finally settled. The conflict is settled, and we're going to get into that because we're at the beginning of the boiling pot. All right, those attr- uh birth pains are increasing, as you would say. All right. Call Holayim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied and rule well for the hopeful 144 and the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of great millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. It's your brother, Kanan, and this will be titled, He Said Peace. And when I said he, is spelled lowercase h, uppercase e, for the emphasis on the e, meaning Edom, who you looking at right here, a descendant of Esau, Edom, the nation, okay? The wicked, spoken of in Job 9 and 24, who currently the earth is hands is in, okay? To the the prophecy is fulfilled in the book of Second Esdras, 6, okay, where it says 6, starting at 6, where it says Esau is the end and Jacob is the beginning, not any other nation. We got next, okay, and now we're watching the the implosion, the crumbling of Esau, Edom's kingdom, as we speak right now. All right, he said peace. Well, we know about that word peace, right? Although we just read there will be a time for peace, but this peace will be established from Yahweh Basmi Shah, not this wicked demon. All right. DJ Trump and spiritual Babylon, the puppet leader of spiritual Babylon, which is actually carrying out his lot from Nero, the last emperor of Rome, who was responsible for the burning of Rome and blamed it on who? The Christians. And who were the Christians? Anybody that believed in Yahweh Basmi Shah? No. Yasharallah, the Yasharallah that believed in Yahweh Basmi Shah. Not all of Yasharallah. Those who had faith in Yahweh Basmi Shah were considered the Christians. Okay? So if you've been keeping up, um DJ Trump, why I use this picture, Nero, he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. Why can't he have one? Obama got one for literally doing nothing. Okay. Yada yada yada. What does those things mean to our people? Nothing. But okay, so he wants this Nobel Peace Prize. So he's trying to usher in the peace talks between um, Israel, okay, the false Israel, and Gaza, which actually that's a land grab. So that was falsified to begin with. But then he's trying to so-called usher in this peace with Russia and Ukraine, okay, which why he's trying to supposedly help Ukraine grab peace, he wants Ukraine's minerals as he tries to settle their conflict with Russia. Okay, all right, he's biting off ass. Hey, we can keep going. Anyway, once again, as yeah, I'm gonna say it as keeps sparring with Canada, okay, and with Mexico, and we can go on and on, and ultimately, what this is about to lead to, and we'll speak on it. But let's get to the next scripture. Once again, this is he said peace. I pray that it be edifying. This is First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. Verse 1. Okay. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. And on we got camps out here that don't believe in Apostle Paul's writings. So they're exempt from this. Obviously, they're not of the hopeful elect, okay? Because Yahweh Bashmi Shah comes in the volume of the book. All right. The day of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. So First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons. Okay, didn't we just say get that? There's a time for all things in the seasons. Okay, brothers, ye have no need that I write unto you. What's that about? Because we're alert, we're aware. The Wadi Yahabashmi Awashai for giving us that understanding, for unlocking the whatever they call it, the in the forehead, the pineal gland or whatever, to unsetting our minds to understanding and removing our minds from mirth, okay, meaning folly. All right. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh Bashmi Shah so cometh as a thief in the night. All right, we're going to be caught off guard. All right, and not everybody is going to perfectly, but we don't have a date. It's not a calendar date. So the Lord already said that the conditions of the earth are going to be as in the days of Noah. All right, when he gave them warning that flood was coming, and they couldn't see it because they never even seen rain before, so they just could not believe it. Okay, and although Yahweh Shai has perfectly set up the stage, you see the traces, the residue, you see the proof of the MOTB, all right, that chip that's gonna go into either your forehead or your hand that's already here. You see the what some people ignorantly so-called think are museum meant to be statues. I'm talking about those ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles being stacked up, also already being used because Russia technically used one on Ukraine. It just wasn't, it just didn't have the nuke magnitude because it wasn't, it's not time for that, but it had the speed and accuracy. So now we've seen them shot off, but yet you still think that you're still comfortable thinking that those are for a farther time off. What did Alizé Alazar say? Man, Yahweh Shah could come back in 1,000 years. Fuck that. The writing's on the wall right now. Okay, this is about with this we ending this earlier than you expect. Okay, for real, way earlier than you expect. Okay, so once again, verse 2, First Thessalonians 5, verse 2. For yourselves, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh Bashmi Shah so cometh as a thief in the night. Once again, those who've been trimming their lamps, paying attention. All right, prophesied righteously for Yahweh Bashmi Shah, not prophesied to feed their own belly. Okay. And definitely not the dumbed down 2/3 who just don't have awareness at all, even though that they've come across this truth. All right. All right. Here we go. Verse 3. For when they say, who is they? For when they say, once again, I named this he, lowercase h, uppercase e. We're talking about Edom's people. You know, for when they say peace and safety, okay, what does E know them to do? They're the wicked. They go estranged. Let's get it. Let's get it. For when they say peace and safety, because this is of importance. Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are exchanged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay? Speaking lies. I don't even have to back that up because you see in the conditions of this world, and we're gonna go right back to this. So we know that they natural born liars. First Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they say, who is they? The wicked, peace and safety. What does so the book of Sirach say? Never trust thy enemy. Okay? Peace and safety. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Okay? And listen, this is already playing out. This played out on a major scale this week. A couple days ago, no more than 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna say around the 19th or the 18th. Trump has supposedly had come on now, ushered in peace. I'm gonna say that. Um, when you make a deal, when you negotiated, that's what I was trying to say. Tawada negotiated peace for Russia and Ukraine. Whoa, big major win. Like I said, he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. And then for Israel and Palestine, which we know we know that Gaza, we know that that's a land grab, okay? So he's doing all of this for an image, right? All right. This is the book of Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh Bashmi Shai that he have taken against Babylon, and this is spiritual Babylon, United Snakes of America, and his purpose that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and that least of the flock is the Israeli people, the bastards that dwell in our land, the genociders right now that are trying to ethic cleanse out the Palestinians, okay, which is Ishmael and Elam, and some of their own people, by the way, mixed in, trying to ethnic cleanse them and get them out the way so they can have what more and more increase because they can their want and hunger can never be satisfied, and whatever they want they go after with the sword. Okay, now a little bit later we're gonna let you know how this is increased and where this spills over to, because it's no longer about to be about the Palestinians that's getting ran over. That okay, and we're gonna get through scripture and then we're gonna show you. But all right, once again, this is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh Bashmi Shah, the only counsel that can ever stand for eternity. That government, because that's what it goes into, government. Okay, council, rulership, that he have taken against Babylon. And this is not ancient Babylon, this is spiritual Babylon, United Snakes of America. Okay, and his purpose, that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock, once again, the Ish people, led by Ben Juyunat, but really led by the elites, which are their people, but they don't go under that same banner though. Okay, the least of the flock. So yes, once again, let me correct myself. The image of Israel is Amalek, but the not all, I mean, the elites of Amalek don't even go under that falsification of a religion. Okay, they don't even waste their time. They go directly to the left hand of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, which is the wicked spirits. That's who they serve in. Okay, for real. When I say, the elites, we talking about the so-called Illuminati. All right, those behind the curtains of the Wizard of Oz. Okay, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Okay, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, because it's going to be televised, like the apostles say all the time. It's going to be worldwide televised. Babylon's downfall. Okay, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard amongst the nations. And why would they destroy this place and turn around and cry? Because it was very valuable to them. Okay, leading up to the conflict. But let's get it. Fair use 107, fair use copyright. This is 1976 allowance is made for fair use. See how long we get to do this. Fair use copyright. I'm not selling any products. This is strictly for educational purposes, and more importantly, I pray it be edifying. All right. So once again, I named this He Said Peace.
The ceasefire is very much dead. The war is back on as the Israeli military launched a punishing series of deadly airstrikes across the Gaza Strip.
The residents that our team in Gaza are speaking with say there was no warning, that it was complete surprise, striking people when they were in their homes or sleeping, of course, in the middle of the night. Around 2 a.m., aerial strikes were launched in 3 main areas. So in the south, in Khan Yunis, in Deir al-Balah in the center, and also in the north in Gaza City. As you mentioned, the death toll has just gone up, more than 400 people now.
Following weeks of withholding humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, Israel has completely decided to break the ceasefire agreement with Hamas and is now pounding Gaza with airstrikes. And by the way, hundreds of people have died as a result. They've been killed during the holy month of Ramadan, not something Israel has any real concern about. Now, let's take a look at footage.
The ceasefire is very much dead. The war is back on.
Now, see, all right, that's showing you the might of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because he uses one wicked to punish another wicked. Okay, those people don't belong. Neither of those people belong in our land. All right, when it is truthful when Jeremiah or yes, Jeremiah 30:6 says a bastard shall dwells in Ashtra. Okay, and that goes in also mixed multitude, not just the Ish people. All right, so he's putting in work. He's putting in work on their tops. Okay, and when that, once again it said doing that Islamic um feast, which Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, I don't give a damn about that. So judgment's coming down on them, and ultimately they're going to be judged too. So let's get it. We said earlier, the least of them, the least of the flock should draw them out. Let me give you understanding who's going to be drawn out first, okay? Due to their behavior, all right? Because now you brought in the Houthis off in the canal, okay? So you brought in the Houthis because they're mad about the aid not getting to Gaza, and then ultimately they're blaming that on Iran. So now the Iran war is about to go high. Okay, the Iran war is about to go high. All right, so we just say that was ultimately the goal, by the way, of Ben Juyunat, I guess he thinks the United States can and them together could just take all the land of the world mass, okay? All of Asia, all right? Little by day. Pinky in the Brain, if you know what that's about. That's a cartoon. What we gonna do today? We're gonna take over the world. But it never happened, did it? Okay. Second Esdras chapter 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Okay, they love to call it the Middle East is Asia. All right, this Asia, probably Mid Asia and East Asia. All right, from the east and West Slovakia and West Asia. All right, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Okay, so if you don't know, these dragons are going into Ishmael's people, and they are definitely coming back together. Okay, the Saudis, the Egyptians that are not, they're not Hamitic. Those are mm, once again, Ishmael, okay? They're gonna remind themselves of who they are, all right? And once again, Saudi Arabia, all right, or Salakia, Iran, though these people are coming back, they're gonna come back to their understanding and say we have to band together to do what? Take down the common enemy. Not because we love each other so much and we forgive each other for our beef. No, we have a common enemy, and we're gonna bring that point up again. All right, so now I'm gonna skip down to 31. And then shall the dragons, see dragons plural. Okay, shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, remembering, hey, we Ishmael, all right? We're Ishmael. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Once again, who is them? Edom. Okay, starting with the little hats, the least of the flock, who was going to draw them out, draw all this heat out. Okay, and force United States of America to be in a position that they can't defend themselves from. All right, now hold on. This is where it gets juicy and hot, because you got to think, you got all these people, all this falsified religions, starting with this Christianity, and all these people that cry for peace, 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 peace. The Lord, when the Lord come back, and when they think of the Lord, they think of that hippie, that leopard, Caesar Borgia, with the stringy hair. They think that he's gonna come and bring peace. The dude whose name started with the letter J, which J wasn't invented to the 1500s, which was the 16th century. Okay, so Yahweh Shai, this is what Yahweh Shai is coming to do. All right, Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. See, we read the time. There will be a time for peace. But right now, he ain't bringing that peace when he shows up with the host, with those chariots who they've been so ignorantly lying to the world, saying that they're UFOs and we shot them down and they're green men in them. Like, once again, Esau, man, he has never told the truth about shit. Elon Musk just went he sent a rocket up there and got those people that was up in the space station for 9 months. That one bitch must have been up in there for 9 years, because I was looking at her in 2012 on my fucking laptop with her hair looking the exact same. It's the exact same actress. So they can never fucking tell the truth. Okay? So once again, think not. And this is red letter Yahweh Shai speaking. Okay? Now Caesar Borgia, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. All right? But a sword. And this sword is going to be mightier than Esau's sword. Remember, Yahweh Shai gave Esau the sword that he's been using on this world. When he was Isaac, he blessed him because he blessed what? He blessed Jacob with heaven. So he blessed Esau with the dew of heaven, the little amount. You go take the sword and swack your way to the top. All right. And after they was put out of commission, they returned. When Alexander, who you call Alexander the Great, we call Alexander the Great, was put back in, was set up from who Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They've been in control since then. Okay. All right. This is the book of Ezekiel. Then I got one more short video for you. Then we're gonna wrap this up. I pray that this has been edifying. One more time. He said peace. So you just heard that the Israel didn't keep their part of the bargain. They just started striking. All right. So that part didn't go down. Now let's check this out. This is Ezekiel. Okay. Salakia. Damn, if it ain't Ezekiel. Yes, Ezekiel. I don't know what just happened. Salaki, Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, okay, which is Russia currently, which right now is led by who? The Edomites, okay? The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesies against him, all right? And say, Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, I'm against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Okay? And actually in Paleo Hebrew, the Ra would be head and Shar is prince. Shar is in our name. Yashar Rala, he prince of power. Okay, so Rasha, head prince. All right, so that fits these scriptures right here. That this is truly prophecy speaking right now. All right, verse 4, Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. Now turn thee back. What happened in the late 90s, or Salakia in the late 80s, earlier 90 proportions, um Soviet Union lost its might, and it imploded within itself. Okay, and kind of got bullied by the United States of America verbally, not hot war, but what they call Cold War. But Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua rose up Putin, who's now going on like what 20 years of dictatorship, and came through the army. Not just a politician, came through the army. And he had that fighting spirit put in him through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is an Edomite, fulfilling when he said, I will put the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay? This is Edom on Edom. All right. Like you had black on black crime. Remember that? Shit. All right. So he has put these hooks. I'm gonna read this again. Ezekiel 38 and 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into the jaws, meaning I will force you to go in this direction. And I will bring thee forth and all thy armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. And that makes sense because it's the bricks. I realized that. He said he's gonna listen. Okay. Even a great company with buckles and shields, all of them holding swords. And we know the modern day swords today. We know what type of weapons and gadgets that they got planned. All right. All the way up to fucking robots. Okay. Damn it. But listen, when it said all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, Russia's not going to be alone. This is the BRICS, baby. The BRICS is coming to fight. I mean, the United States of America should already know. And then you got Elon Musk calling for them to end, to remove themselves from NATO, which is probably going to ultimately happen. All right, but back to Russia's side of the story. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. Okay, and we know China got their back. All right, Gomor and all his bands, the house of Tigmar of the North Quarters, okay, and all his band, and many people with thee. All right, once again, look into that BRICS and what they're doing. They're not falling apart. They're coming together. They're not ceasing. They're going forward. All right, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Okay, and that's what they're doing, building up their military infrastructure. All right, getting ready, prepare for this moment. Thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Once again, do your research on BRICS. All right. Now here's the next one for you. Now remember, he said peace. We're talking about Nero. Trump said peace just a couple of days ago.
President Trump and President Putin were in sync with one another. The call was outcome oriented.
Could you set the stage for us, sir? How different was this call?
I thought the call was epic. They were talking about how to save lives, how to stop the carnage.
Overnight, Russia sent 150 drones and hit Ukrainian energy. I just wonder what was actually agreed and whether Russia crossed the line.
Well, just hours after President Vladimir Putin agreed to a partial ceasefire in a call with President Donald Trump, Russia and Ukraine exchanged aerial assaults. And it turns out, the road to peace is a lot more complicated, a lot more difficult than anyone would expect.
Excuse me. It turns out the Bible is more realer than anybody would expect it. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, and we already identified who the earth is given to their hands to temporarily, Job 9:24, the wicked, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them.
Right, Donald?
Now, I have to tell you, it's an unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that ceasefire could be so complicated.
Nobody knew that ceasefire could be so complicated. All right, in all seriousness, let's give you all the details because Trump not only had a lengthy phone conversation with Vladimir Putin yesterday, it lasted hours, but he also had a phone conversation with Volodymyr Zelensky. And here are all of the updates in regard to movement on a potential ceasefire. So look, to be fair, during Donald Trump's call with Vladimir Putin, while Putin did reject the 30-day truce that Donald Trump has been endorsing, has been pushing for, he did agree to temporarily stop attacking Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Ukraine, on the other hand, did agree to a 30-day ceasefire, but it doesn't really matter if Vladimir Putin is refusing to also agree to the same ceasefire. So for now, Russia has agreed, we're not gonna touch Ukraine's, or we're not gonna attack Ukraine's energy. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has already accused Putin of violating the narrow terms of what he had agreed to. So Russia allegedly attacked Ukraine with hundreds of drone strikes overnight, including strikes on its energy facilities. So Russia attacked Ukraine with 145 drones, 2 ballistic missiles, and 4 anti-aircraft missiles. Ukraine's Air Force said Wednesday morning, 72 drones were shot down the Air Force said. Now, civilian infrastructure was also struck as a result of the strikes carried out by Russia, including a hospital in eastern Sumy and an electricity system powering the railway in central Ukraine. Now, I should be clear that the railway was still able to function despite the attack, but nonetheless, the attack.
President Trump.
So you get where we was going with this. Once again, he said peace. But let me tell you what Yahweh Bashim Shah said. All right. First of all, we're going to go here. Proverbs 24. Salakia. Proverbs 21 and 1. The kings. Who are your kings? Your dictators, your leaders, your presidents, whatever yada yada you want to say. Your leadership, your council, your governments. The king's heart. What is your heart? Your mind is in the hand of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Notice it says kings, plural, all of them, all of them. Heart, mind, lob is in the hand of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. As a river of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. So they have no choice. And I got to get it. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles. Nah, I'm feeling a little different today. I'm starting at the top. This is Joel 3 and 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, the northern and southern tribe. Okay. I like to allude to Teddy Roosevelt having the Judite and the Gadite in those chains in that statue on the while he's on the horse saying that he's sitting in the power seat. Okay, which is exactly once again in the book of Job. All right. Prophecy. And that motherfucker was on Elder Manatazakba video talking about if we never went through slavery, well we did, you stupid ass, and it was prophesied, you dummy. Shit. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations. Listen, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, which is Yahweh Shaphat. Okay, which is Yahweh Shaphat. All right. Now, I love this right here. Because look, here we go. That does not say Yahweh Shaphat. But look where it says it right down here. It's separated. Yahweh Shaphat. Okay. Root word, etymology. All right. So I love that. Okay. Jehoshaphat, known as also Armageddon. Okay, if you've heard it before in lingo, Armageddon, and will plead with them. All right, therefore my people plead, talk it out. Hell no, hell no. Utterly destroy them for my people is what that should say. All right, for real. For my people and for my heritage, Yasharala. How more clear is that? Heritage, lineage, seed, his seed, okay? Whom they have scattered amongst the nations and parted my land. Have they not parted his land over there? Once again, do the bastard not dwell in Astra? All right. And even over here in United States of America, the northern tribe, our tribes had it first. Okay. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyrane and Zidon? And these are Hamites, okay? And all the coasts of Palestine, okay? Will ye render me a recompense And if ye and if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, shall I return your recompense upon your own head. He said, I'm gonna deal with you quickly. These are the Hamites, okay? Because ye have taken my silver and gold and have carried into your temples and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, okay? The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their borders. Now, they would. When we told that Africans sold Africans, no. We was brought in bondage by the help of Hamites. Okay? All right? Which was the curses of Deuteronomy. Okay? It wasn't that we wasn't great. It was just the curses was upon us. We have to go through this punishment. It's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, now here we go. Verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Why do you how about Shai? And hey, we hate Hamites. You know, those definitely us, those in the know, but it's we was born with this shit before we even knew we was Israelites. Okay, and they hate us. The water. All right. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabines, to a people far off, for Yahweh Shai has spoken it. Whew. Now, here we go. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, let them come up, all the men, talking about all these nations that read the book of Psalms 83, all the nations that plotted against us. He's demanding all of them to come down now, man. He's put it in their heart. Once again, a time for war. But hey, he said peace. Well, the wrong person spoke those words, all right? Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords. What does that mean? Turn all your agriculture devices, machinery, forming to weaponry. We're talking about industry, your lines, your plants, okay? From John Deere to Rocket Man. Shit. To rocket shooter. For real. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All right. So turn them fishing poles into bullets because you're going to need them. Okay. Let the weak say, I am strong. And he's shown us that. These nations, once again, look into the bricks, how they coming together, how they gluing together with one consent. We hate the West and we hate that bastard that's dwelling over in our backyard in the Middle East, of Salakia, in Western Asia. Okay? For real. Assemble yourselves and come ye all heathen, all the 17 nations, okay, which is going to include the two-third little snot-nosed punk ass jakes of our nation, of the 12 tribes, all right, that get that was not covered by the blood of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Now they got to go up into that situation because see, if you in the know, you would not be a part of no military right now at all, okay. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around about. And that includes Eve too, because she's up in that conflict too. There cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There it says again, which is what? We already said it. Yahweh Shaphat, meaning Yahweh judgment. Okay? For there will I set to judge all the heathen around about. Okay? And watch this. Let's get that judge. There it go. There it go, right there. H8199, Shabbat.
Strong's H8199, Shaphat.
There,
Shaphat.
there is no F in Hebrew. Hey, Edom just got to do slimy shit all the time. So basically, you want to take Hebrew and try to make it like Pig Latin and put those hidden sounds and vowels and all of that shit. But the Bible says we're of a simple tongue, and we know Paleo Hebrew. We know the sounds of the of all the syllables you would call being made from I to Tha. All right, and there's a I in between. All right. So we know how to pronounce these words. Yahweh Shai Shai is giving us that understanding. The water. All right. So the blue letter could play with these words, but long as they give us the correct symbols, I can speak them. Now, if it was paleo and you gave me the right connectors, I could definitely not make mistakes when I speak these words. But that's okay. Because we just practice it. But anyway, to judge, govern, all right, vindicate, punish. You see that? Punish. And then Yahweh Shah is not playing. All right. So once again, Job 3:12. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. Armageddon, the Mount of carcasses, basically. And there will I set to judge all the heathen around about. Now, earlier it said, plead. This time he just got straight to it. I'm going to judge you. All right. And it ain't going to be no easy sentence either. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Here we go. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh Shai is near, and in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened. What's that? That's that smoke from them from them ICBMs, from them chariots putting in work. Okay, and this and these nations going at putting in work on each other, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Okay, Yahweh Shai also shall roar out of Zion. Okay, and how is he going to do that? Once again, coming in that chariot with the hosts, with the army of angels, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh Shai will be the help of his people and the strength of his children, Yasharallah. And that's to the hopeful Bakarium, the hopeful election on his side, because he is going to judge the 2/3. All right. All the heathens in the 2/3. All right. And with that, this has been He Said Peace. And I pray that this has been edifying. Shalom.